emotions, awakening to the joy of life.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Awakening podcast. And today I have a guest, Julia Dars, and she's triple certified personal trainer. She's a nutrition coach and also a behavioral coach. And she's also a winner of Arnold Classic Festival, which is big. And today we'll be talking about mindset, we'll be talking about nutrition, about working out, and about breathing. And I can't wait to introduce you and to share your knowledge and information with my audience today.
Thank you, Olichka. Thank you very much. It's an honor for me to be on your podcast, and I hope we can, I really, when I found out that you started your podcast, I'm like, damn, this girl is amazing, because you're sharing, all the knowledge on all the good energy and vibe, because we all need that. We're social creatures. We need support. And even though, probably even people who do the self-work every day, they still need the support, because we all have doubts. We all have, our downsides. So we all need this aha moments, like hearing from someone that, oh, okay, I have this problem right now, and this person is dealing with this like in that way. So can I try that one? Maybe it will work. So, it's amazing. I really, really, really proud of you. And that's a huge, and thank you for like inspiring all of us. Thank you very much. Congrats.
Thank you. Yes, we lift each other up. That's the only way, because if we don't share, if we just learn and keep it to ourselves without sharing to others, we just forget and it doesn't go anywhere. But once we start to sharing with others and teach others, we actually learn even more on the process of teaching, of practicing what we've learned. So this is so beneficial. Same with healing. You heal by heal someone. Same with sharing the knowledge and wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely. And energy goes in this way, like in this direction. When you share your good vibe and your good energy to others, your energy inside of you is growing and glowing all the time, because not even it's not about like, oh, I'm famous, or I want to be like famous and have 3 million followers and stuff like that, which is awesome, but it's all about just helping other people. And if it's even if it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 10 people, then somebody will share what they've learned on your podcast and like, hey, like I've heard this and this and that's literally changed my life. So that's a chain reaction. So we are not alone here. We actually all connected. So, and it's amazing.
Yeah, that's my contribution. I'm very excited about that. And to start our today's episode, I would like to ask you first if you ever had a moment of awakening in your life when your life separated for before and after.
Oh yeah, I think I had a lot of those moments, but maybe the one that actually brought me down to my knees, and it was like, that's the moment where I thought, that's it, like I don't want to do anything, and I don't know if I can pull it off, because I'm an immigrant as well, right? So I was born in Belarus, and I came here alone without any friends or parents. So that was like a hustle, but in a way of like robotic hustle, everything was new to me. And I was like, yes, that's this. And then I met my ex-husband already. So this, I don't know, like, I guess the whole inner job that I've done after our divorce literally showed me that I probably imagined a little bit more than it was, in real life. So our separation, and I try to like close my eyes on certain things. And that's what I probably, number one thing, if you feel that you like can deal with certain things in your life, if it's your friend or your significant other, you just cannot close your eyes on that, because it will erupt in some time, and it will be bad. So either you're gonna hurt yourself with just suppressing your feelings and your, like whatever you don't like in a relationship, and then you will suffer. So I guess we've been together for 4 years. Like 2 years we were dating, and then he proposed. And I know that deep inside I wasn't really happy, but this, especially like in our culture, it's the social pressure that you have to have a family by the age of like 20, you have to 22 maybe, you have to have kids already, like, in all this stuff. It's kind of like in your head. We're growing up watching our parents, watching our siblings, and I was like, okay, so I need to keep this family together. I need to keep this family together, even though I wasn't that happy. And of course, I'm not blaming him on whatever happened, like I allowed it. I was there. Nobody pushed me, or nobody actually tortured me to do so. So when we got separated, I was lost. Like I felt every negative emotions, from anger, envy, to just
depression,
depression, anxiety, that the feeling that, okay, so now I have my apartment and I have my life, the schedule, the la 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 la, and now I have to just literally start all over again. Where I'm gonna go, where I can just rent an apartment right now. Like I don't really have that amount of money to just, and that time we invested a lot of our money into our business. So I was lost. I was like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? Like, what's gonna happen? And yes, it literally brought me down. It's literally brought me down. But I gotta say that probably the one thing that helped me at that point, and I think no matter what drives you when you're down and helps you to kind of get rid of your negative emotions and thoughts, it will work. So just hold on to it. And it was fitness. It was
amazing.
It was a desire to kind of prove him. And at first it was about him, because he told me, like, your bikini, everything, even though you're like taking first places here in New York, but you're never gonna go like higher than that. And I'm like, all right, you know what, show you, like I'll prove to you. And maybe someone can say that it's wrong to kind of prove someone else, because it should be all from your, from inside. But at that point, I wasn't really care, because it helped me to kind of wake up every day at 4 a.m. and take the subway, go to Manhattan, work out, prep everything, my meals, then work in my business, because I was a working partner, and then come back, train my client, and all over again, come back home and get the schedule, the sleeping schedule also on top, because, the sleep is important.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, I remember my New Year's in 2018, from 2017 to 2018, that's New Year. I was literally drinking coffee and eating nothing, because that was my prep. Because Arnold's, they were like at February or March, end of the February, March. So I was like very close. And I had a lot of work to kind of, accomplish by that point, because I wasn't really into lifting while we were like in separation mode. Everything was like kind of like, so I was reluctant to everything. And I got into stage at the Arnold's, and of course, that's another point, is comparison. You like looking at those girls, you're like, what am I doing here? Like, those girls are super awesome. And I'm like, I'm not looking good. Like, but every night before the Arnold, I was closing my eyes and imagining myself standing on that stage, holding the first place award. It was manifestation. At that point, I didn't know what was it. I was just like, I'm just going to imagine that,
Yeah.
And literally, it drove me to just do the specific steps that I needed to do before that. And here we go. I'm standing like finals. My friend, she was taking videos. She was just screaming because they named all girls, and I'm the one who was left. And so that's the first place.
Yeah. Well.
And then they said my name, and I'm like, I'm looking at my number, and I'm like, oh my God, it's me. It was such an amazing moment. And at that point, I wasn't thinking about my ex-husband that, I'm going to just throw it into his face. Like, hey, look, you told me that I'm never going to accomplish that. Well, here we go. Like, I'm standing at the Arnold. It's not, like a New York competition or something like that. And I was really, really happy. But I'm like, oh my God, I have everything inside of me. I have all powers that I need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, you just have to trust yourself. Like, you have to really have, like, maybe not 100% trust, because sometimes you have to kind of like doubt your own thoughts, because they also not really, sometimes they're not true. But yes, I'm like, yes, I can do this. I can accomplish whatever I set my mind to. So that was probably a breaking moment for me when I started my business, like all over again. Like, now I started my business, like coaching clients. I moved to a completely different gym. And I was just like learning, studying everything. And now, like, wow. So yeah,
New world open there.
Yes. And
when one door closes, another door is open.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. So yeah, that was amazing.
That's a beautiful story. Wow. Interesting, because sport helped you to recover from this deep event which happened to you. And in my case, it helped me. I was lost, but not because I was traumatized by something, but just in general lost. I didn't know what I want. And it was a lot of in confidence, a lot of self-doubts, and I just started to see what I can accomplish. And that's from where everything started as well for me. Just I opened my feminine energy, I opened my willpower. I also realized that there is no limits. Once I stepped first time on the stage, I was getting ready for absolutely another competition, and I decided to try the stage 3 weeks before, and I accidentally ended up in top 3 at NPC.
That's amazing.
I won second and third place in different divisions in open and novice. Wow. And I was like, wow, I can do actually something.
Who is that girl?
Yes. And then that's how it all began. And now I'm a little bit in a different field. I'm more into yoga and into my family. And we have a dream to open retreat center with my husband. But I'm so awesome. Grateful. Yeah. Just
promise me you're going to invite me, okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
I still want to come.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But I'm so grateful to sport, because it opens, you get to know yourself through sport. You know what's your strengths and weaknesses. You know how to deal with yourself mentally, because you have to have a conversation to make all this plan happen and all this process. And this is a big trip, but it's so rewarding.
Of course, I think so too. Like, sports, and not only set up you to like, I'm stepping on a stage, but it also helps you with all other areas in your life, with your work, with your nutrition, with your sleep scheduling, because when we are actually getting ready for the competition, if we don't sleep and we know that we have like another week of workouts and cardio and all this stuff, your body budgeting is just like topping out, down, and you don't have any energy to do so. Yes. So you're like, okay, I cannot mess it up. I need to go to sleep like on point, the time like that I gonna have like 7-8 hours of good sleep. I need to make time for myself to prep meals. Nobody will do it for me. Yeah. I need to make time for workouts and cardio. You keep yourself busy, and also it doesn't really affect your like work schedule, because you're on top of everything. It's the only in our heads when we think that we don't have time. No, we have time. Like, we make time for ourselves, and we should make our time for ourselves to go and work out, because let's face it, like, a lot of women, and I think it's probably because of like we're future mommies or we're already mommies, and we can care about everybody else but ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. You're like, whatever. And when I have the client, like especially new client, I'm also like working on the mindset, and I'm like, look, you have a daughter. First of all, what kind of example are you setting up to your daughter? Because she can see that you eating this and this and this and this and this and this, and I'm like, you're all down and you like shoveling all the chocolate that you have. Do you think she won't pick it up like when she will grow? Of course, she sees that her mom is doing it. So in her head there is no why not, why, like, if she's doing it, I can do this. And and I'm like, would you treat your daughter like you're treating you? Like, would you actually feed her with the chocolate instead of a good nutritious meal? She's like, no. I'm like, so why is
why is it feeding your inner child?
Absolutely. Because God forbid you are, her mom. So you are responsible for her, for now at least. So you have to take care of yourself first. It's like, on the airplane, when something happens, you put the mask on yourself first, because if you pass out, your child won't survive this stuff. And I know it's kind of hard to wrap our heads around this stuff, that you have to, if you treat your body good, if you give yourself a good nutrition, your body will give it back,
in terms of energy, in terms of health, immune system.
Absolutely.
Everything.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yes, I've learned this also from some course about feminine energy, and it was mind-blowing for me. And the question she asked was, if you have yourself, you have a kid, and you have a husband, who's supposed to be on the first place, second, and third one? And most of the women say that my kid, then my husband and me, or my husband, kid and me, or different variations. But only few women know how it's really supposed to be. In the first place, it's supposed to be you. Because you have only one you. You may have 2 kids, 3 kids, you may have different husbands, but you come to this world in this body, and this is you. That's the only one body you have.
Absolutely.
Then your second place should be your husband, because your kid will grow up in 18 years and will leave the house, and you're supposed to stay with your husband in this house forever. So you should take care of your husband, so he's happy with you. You are happy because you feed yourself with all this energy. You're not too exhausted. You nurture yourself.
You look good.
Yes, and you're full of energy, and then you take care of your husband, and then together you take care of the kid. Because even if a kid will have all the toys in the world and all the sweets in the world, and their parents are not happy and not full of love, the kid will not be happy. It doesn't matter how many toys he has. So this is a simple truth, but it's so deep, and we often forget that. Like, once I'm not a mother yet, but as soon as instincts kick in, women often forget about herself. She pushes that at the last place.
I also think it's a lot to do with how we were raised and all this like society norms and rules. Because, if you say, oh, I'm in my first place for myself, like in my life, many people will just judge you, saying like, oh, so you're so selfish. But it's not about that. It's not being selfish, because if I feel good, I can take care of everyone around me.
Yes.
If I don't feel good, probably others will also suffer from my bad energy, my mood, God forbid any physical issues and stuff like that. So who will benefit out of it? Nobody, right? Yep. And it's not, we just need to kind of like reverse engineer certain things. Like, it's not being self-centric. It's not being selfish. It's actually being self-aware, I would say, and mindful about how the life should be and who is priority in here. Because that's what you said, like kids will leave you, right? Maybe your husband also, like, we don't know. Like, in my case, that's what happened. And I lost myself. I thought that he was, my life in a way. And then when I realized that, first of all, I have to be comfortable by being alone. If I love myself to the point where I can sit in a silent room without any noise or people, I have to feel that, enjoy it. And then I can enjoy everything else. So I think it's a very great the rule of thumb, I would say.
Yes, absolutely. It's interesting how people with age become more and more introverted. This wisdom just comes with age. Usually when we are younger, we just want to go out, we just want to party, and all this outside world is so interesting. We don't like being with ourselves. But as we get wiser and wiser, we love to go more within, because all the answers are there, and all the sources of joy and love, everything is within.
It's a very interesting topic, by the way, that you just like mentioned, because I had this question in my head, like, so, you know, when you like, I'm meditating a lot, and I'm like, okay, so I'm not trying to compare myself right now to myself that I was like at 20s. That person is gone, you know? So, and that's totally fine to change. And I was like, so, but why and how was that? I literally blinked, and I don't remember even like, you know, my 7 years here. And I found that the answer just because you were surrounded by other people's problems, you know, that was automatic. And when you face with this, it's like, why coronavirus right now, right? Why is everybody so depressed and obsessed? Because we don't have a chance to go out and enjoy our friends like as we used to. And that's what left us with ourselves. Like, okay, so all the like untreated issues and problems in your head that you were just postponing, like, I'll deal with this later, I'll deal with it later, they just suddenly like boom, you know. And I think when we are younger, it's not that we like, you know, dumber in a way. It's just because we don't really think that there's something inside of us that probably needs some attention. You know, like, maybe that thing that you're feeling is not just because, like, you know, that was a guy in the party says something to you. It's something else that comes from within, because nobody, you know, nobody can hurt you. You're hurting yourself, right? So if anybody's like, let's say a couple examples. Like, you have your friend and you have just a stranger from the street. If just a stranger from the street will tell you like, hey, like, you dumb, for example, right? I don't want to swear here. You will be like, okay, whatever. No,
what's wrong with this guy?
Yeah. And now when, let's say, if you hear that from someone who you love and care, you know, your friend, you attach different feelings to it, right? So now you attaching your own meaning, which is like, it's not true. How your friend can know or judge you by like something that like once appeared or happened, whatever it is, right? But we feel so deeply sorrow, like, oh my God, like, oh, she or he called me that way, and now we're suffering, you know, like weeks, like, and or like we're not even talking to this person anymore, which is like, you know, you know, nothing should hurt you from outside unless you really think that way. You know, unless you really think that maybe right now you wish to be in a different level of maybe, you know, your mindset, maybe your IQ, I would say, or intelligence, right? But you're not there because something else is taking your time away, and you're like, So that's probably why I felt that way, because I really want to kind of like maybe evolve a little bit more in my life. So that's the point. Like, nothing should hurt us. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's only we are our worst enemies.
That's true. And we spend so much time and energy thinking about what other people think about us. It's just ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Tell me more about your daily routine. How's your schedule look like? How do you get so disciplined and you get so many things done and you stay on the top of your diet, of your preparation? You have business, you have clients. What's your secret?
Okay. That's crazy because I'm a person who just wants to try everything, you know, like, and this and this and this and this, that. I want to do this and this. And I can't really decide what is like, well, I couldn't decide before, like, what is priority. But now, first of all, I am open to changes. And I think it's like the best thing for anyone, because if something comes into your way but you already have your schedule, right? And you just trying to reject it, it will hurt you in a way. So sometimes when my schedule gets interrupted by something, I'm like, okay, that's fine. I accept it. I'm open to whatever can happen. So this is just one time, 2 times, maybe a week thing that I need to take care of first. So I think being just flexible about our lives would be like my best kind of like advice. But as for my schedule, so usually I'm waking up at like 6:30. Depends. I'm also like I'm bad with watching TV at night. I know. Usually it's something very interesting movies that have meaning, to it, like historical or something like that. So in the morning, 6:30, I wake up. My breakfast, I always like to egg whites, something, like maybe English muffin. Then I do my breath work and I meditate. If I have enough time, I also read. I like to read in the morning while, I'm totally not into my phone, because I need my mind. If I can win my morning, I can win my day. So I need my mind to be with me, not on Instagram or with my clients or with like problems or with like, schedule that I need to do, like videos, because it can just drive you crazy. So then after that, I usually edit my videos for a website. I'm like, going through my schedule. So of course, emails, clients, new recipes for my website, because right now I just launched my membership area. So that's basically what I was doing. Like, that's crazy. It's tough work. And everybody's like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. Oh yeah, try. If you have a couple $1,000s for video editor, that's awesome. But on the other hand, like, I want my video to be my way, and I don't want to spend time on like going in my videos and timing everything and like, hey, do this way, and then just doing it, my way. So that's what I do. That's basically my main priority right now. But also it's, of course, social media posting. And I don't like just to post just for it to be there. It's kind of some sort of either a short, nutritional advice or fitness advice or something like mindset advice, right? Like motivational stuff. Sometimes it's something funny too. So of course, then it's my workout. I like to really work out in the first part of the day, just because, body in motion stays in motion. So after that, you feel like super energized. So you're like, aha. And also, I'm a person who probably produces more and better after 2 or 3 p.m. So, I do work in the morning that doesn't really require a lot of brainstorming. So like editing videos, you just clicking, and then got it. In between, I have my virtual clients. I have my lunch. Then I also do like certain, researches. So Mondays and Wednesdays, it's usually the days where I read a lot of researches and studies, and I write my blogs. Every day is kind of like different, I would say, but I have my schedule that I'm like, okay, so Monday and Wednesdays, this is going to be blog writing, studies, researches, blah, blah, blah. So let's say Tuesday and Thursday, I'm shooting videos, and also like I am scheduling certain videos to know like what I'm going to do, maybe write a script. So Fridays, usually it's paperwork, like I don't want to do work kind of thing, that's what we like pushing back. And that's, I'm like, okay, let me just dedicate one day in the entire week for stuff that I don't want to do. And usually it's like when you need to, like a paperwork, take care of your personal thing, your personal life, because business is business, but we also have certain things that we need to get done, like bills, something like that. So on Saturdays, typically that's where I create new recipes, and I have my Trainerize app, where I basically program workouts for my virtual clients. as video workout. So I do that, and I contact my clients usually on Saturdays. We have check-ins. On Sundays, I like to rest and just explore something new. So like last Sundays, we went to a jumping facility, when it's like you're jumping, and I like, oh my God, that just like brought so many memories, good food, like that. And what I figured is like, as you said, when we like aging and growing, I would say, I found that I was very afraid of jumping and doing flips. When I was a kid, I wasn't care. I was like everywhere.
Oh yes.
If I hit my head and stuff like that. But just, kind of like giving yourself permission to be a kid again, whatever it is. Like if it's jumping, if it's like painting class or stuff like that, and learn. And also that's where I need to kind of like get back. But I play guitar. I learned how to play guitar. Yeah. So, and at the beginning when I just got a guitar, I was like, I was sitting hours trying to learn the chords and stuff like that. And then I got super frustrated with like, so what is this chord? What is that chord? Oh, I need to open up my let's say phone to find the application and then open up, and then I need to pick so in my head, I created such a big drama about this stuff. And I'm like, I stopped playing it. I stopped even enjoying it. And then like during meditation, I'm like, what are you doing? Just allow yourself to be super unperfect in this, just pick it up and just play the same song again and again, because, it requires a lot of finger coordinations. And after like first time when I played, I was like, oh my God, like I felt like my fingers are dying right there. Yeah. So pretty much it may seem a lot, but sometimes if I don't feel anything, and this is probably also important, you have to feel yourself and your body, because sometimes if I see my body budgeting is going down and I'm getting tired, I'm okay with not doing anything. Because we have this thing in our heads that we can do more. It's never enough, but it's never going to be enough,
That's true,
and then in 30 years, when you look back, have you enjoyed your life? Like, what have you done? Instead of just business and money won't mean anything if you are unhappy, So and the life is so beautiful. Like we create all this, oh, I need to get like expensive tickets and go to that vacation. Oh no, you can just literally Google free stuff around me and go explore, just go whatever. And you will see that you don't really need fancy stuff to actually kind of smile and be fascinating by nature, by things that you can do around, So yeah, it's just, if you don't feel like, just have the life, we only live once kind of thing. So we need to enjoy it.
Absolutely, yeah. I started to practice morning routines recently, and it's really amazing, because if you have some time dedicated for little things every morning, for example, it may be 1 hour or it may be even 15 minutes, but you get certain things done, like 5 minutes of meditation, 5 minutes or 15 minutes of reading, 15 minutes playing piano or guitar, little workout or a little breath technique, and then like 1 hour passed, you still have a whole day ahead of you, but you have this feeling of accomplishment. Absolutely. Which makes you gives you lots of confidence, and you get into this mode of can't stop, won't stop, and you just want to get more things done. You're like, wow, I'm actually on the top of the things today, so let me just keep going.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is really helpful.
Absolutely. So what is your morning routine?
Now I'm traveling, so it's really tricky. It's next level. But once I came back from yoga school, it became about 10 minutes meditation, 1 hour yoga, and also about 15 minutes breath work. And
what kind of yoga are you doing?
Hatha yoga.
Hatha. Mm-hmm.
I love Hatha yoga because it has lots of relaxation. In between, you go really deep into positions, you hold long, and that helps your mind to calm down. And if you can hold asanas for a long time, you can stay in steady position for meditation for the long time without feeling discomfort. That gives you experience of going really deep into the meditation.
Yeah. So it's some sort of a meditation. You're just taking your mind off problems because you're concentrating on asanas and breathing, especially because it's really important during yoga. And what is your favorite type of meditation? Like, what do you usually do for that?
I like guiding meditations a lot. I find it's a little bit more advanced to just sit and stay still, even though that's what we did in school, just for half hour silence meditation. You repeat something. There is a focus of a point of focus, which can be area in between your eyebrows, or it can be mantra, repeating mantra, or it can be mala, which is like beans, which you go over with your hands. And but I really like guided meditations such as Tony Robbins priming. Oh my God, if you never meditated, just start from that. It's 15 minutes, but there is so much into that because it's a complex of breath work, of gratitude practice, of goal setting and visualization. It's like everything in one. And it really charges. I can feel a huge difference.
Oh, that's cool. I should try it. Yeah, I'm doing meditations, but usually it's I stopped doing guided meditations because like my meditations right now, well, first of all, it gives me sometimes like a little bit of anxiety to just choose from the app like which one I want to do because it's not all of them. And sometimes they're short, like sometimes they're really long and I'm like, I don't know. So I'm meditating on my own, but usually it's either like affirmation, like, or gratitude practice. So I just really trying to list everything in my life that I'm grateful for. And I'm talking about like, I'm grateful for this pillow because it literally makes me feel so comfy right now. Like, right. So some people don't have it. I'm grateful for my car because I'm able to jump into my car and drive somewhere, right? Like we don't think about like, I'm grateful for my legs.
Yeah, for the roof about my head.
Yes, I'm grateful that I have a very nice working brain. I'm grateful for all my challenges because, that's what makes. So if you just start listing things in your, like literally go from, I don't know, even like from the chair to your pet, to your parents, anything, you will find that you can meditate hours. And that feeling of gratitude, it just little like fires you up for the day. Like I love that.
What's interesting that I've been doing gratitude practices before going to bed since I was probably 13 years old. Nobody taught me that. And it's just my grandmother who used to take me to the church with her, and she told me what's the proper way of praying. You express gratitude, you say sorry for the things you did wrong, for your sins and everything, and then you ask, maybe better not to ask for anything because God always knows what's best for you. But if you want, you can ask. And from that point, I started to just before go bed, just read a little prayer and say things I'm grateful for. And first I just started from 2-3 things. And then like every day it was more and more and more. Once you start being grateful, you start noticing more things and more things are coming to you. And then when I was probably about 20, I would have a list of 40 points, which I'm grateful for each night. I was just like that. And I think maybe that's why I had so many miracles in my life, that all my family won green cards, that I've met a man of my dreams. All these things, it all comes from gratitude, just from this simple practice, because you just attract that more and more, because universe feels that, oh, she's grateful for that, so I should give her more.
So it's exactly like what we concentrate, we attract more of. Because when people like think about what being happy means, right? So I'm happy, I'm not happy now, but when I have that car, I will be happier. Or my things in my life not really going the way I wanted. So, but once I have the raise in my work, or like once I won that lottery, I will be happy. No, you won't be happy. Like external things won't bring you happiness. You have to notice what's around you and be grateful for that. Once you notice, everything, every little small thing. I was reading a book by Shete, Think Like a Monk.
Mm-hmm.
So he brought up the example when he's like amazing book. And he was talking about especially like being mindful and being grateful for what you have. And he mentioned the story when he was like a young kid. He was driving around with his parents, and I think they were trying to park because they were going to a dinner. And from the window, he saw a little girl. She was like homeless, or maybe, I don't know, like he didn't specify it, but she found like an apple that somebody just didn't finish.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, he goes, I saw her eyes, like she was so happy about that apple from the trash container, and we usually just take everything for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's taken from us, we're like, oh, oh. And then in some people, they like, okay, so I just need to change my mindset. But some people go, oh, you see, I'm unlucky. Like, that's what I usually attract. Yes, of course, if you concentrate on negative stuff and you don't see any positivity in your life, that you have to be, not that you have to be, we all have choice, right? You can be grumpy, like you don't really need to be super positive person about everything, but you have a choice. You can live your life either on a positive note, and it doesn't mean that you cannot have negative thoughts, or it's every spectrum of emotion is good, but you don't have to concentrate on just one side of the coin. And then once you notice every good thing, you will notice big things are coming at you. You will open up your eyes and think, oh, that person actually like did a lot to me. Like, wow, I'm so grateful for him being in my life. So absolutely, like,
yes,
and you starting from like the very young ages.
Yes, which is interesting. And positivity, it's also something what our yoga teachers always used to tell us in yoga school. And it's basically our choice every day. Yeah, sometimes it's harder, but we just need to push ourselves every time just in a little bit better direction. And we can do that. And it completely changes the track of our life.
Because you see, like when something quote unquote bad happens to us, we choose to look at it from the negative perspective. But like, for example, I bring up my breaking point, right, with my ex-husband. At that moment, I thought it's the end of the world. I thought I'm never gonna be happy, and I'm never gonna like meet someone and have my own life, like normal life that I want. Right now, I see it as actually a gift. Because this is what turned my life into 360. So right now, everything that happens, that it's not that it's bad, it's just not what we expected. It just happened in the opposite way that we were thinking is going to happen. And if you just like, okay, so let me find a couple positive sides from what just happened. And if you actually start like, look, okay, so maybe if I lost this job, that means I can finally find a job that I will enjoy, and this boss that boss won't ever bother me again. Like I won't be doing extra stuff for like little money that he was paying me. So all this stuff, we just need to kind of pause, step aside, and like, okay, let me just analyze this situation. And then you have the choice to be positive. Oh, now I have more time to spend with my kids, finally. So yeah. Everything is our choice.
There is a technique of 5 pluses, which I've learned when I just started to do self-development. And at some of the seminar, I've heard that in each bad situation, in each negative situation, just take your 5 fingers and find 5 things which is positive because this negative thing happened, how it benefits. Find 5 benefits, and boom, all your mindset changes right away.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
Useful. Yeah. Also, I would love to talk more about nutrition and workouts. And I want to ask you so many questions about supplements and
Sure.
diet. This is one of my favorite topics. Can't
Absolutely.
wait to discuss
Mine
it.
too. We're on the same page here.
Yes. So how your daily meal plan looks like? What's your regular routine in terms of food?
So pretty much I'd like to stick to the same kind of food that I always eating, simply because we have all different receptors, and we're all human beings, and whatever willpower you may have or may think you have, you can sabotage yourself very bad. So that's not to say that I'm like trying to avoid the candies and stuff like that. No, but if I have a candy, I won't eat the entire bag, just because my body already is so used to eating nutritious food. So it's usually a lot of protein, and I'm all for protein. It's different types of protein. I prefer to stick to eggs, egg whites, chicken breast, lean steak, lean ground beef. Well, I prefer bison. I don't know, it just tastes better for me. Fish, not so much of a fish, because I don't know, I'm just not enjoying the fish that we have in supermarkets, and it's just really hard. Well, I moved right now in South Carolina, so it's really hard to find like a good fresh like supermarket with fish, and I don't really trust them. So depends. I like branzino, for example, if we're talking about like, oh, that's amazing. In terms of carbs, I'm not avoiding any carbs. So carbs is energy, and that's number one, energy for our brain, for our body. And I'm not against keto diets, whatever works for you, but I also know how our brain works and how much it consumes 20% of energy that we eat. So I want my brain to stay on top of everything, and I want to feed it with like good nutritious food. So usually it's Ezekiel bread. I love that one, like my favorite one. It's, of course, it's rice, and doesn't matter which one, brown or white rice, they all the same. Like, for example, before workout, I can eat like white rice, so a little bit faster carbohydrate. Or it could be cream of rice. I like that one before workout. Oats, I love oats. Sweet potato, a regular potato like white, or red potato, of course. Sometimes I can enjoy pasta, but calorie wise, it's just like super small size, serving size, and pretty much you won't be super satisfied. But my secret sauce, I would say, for everything, even with rice, I just do, I make like a salad with lettuce, spring mix, spinach, and I put my chicken in there, and I put my rice in there. So it becomes like a, I don't know, some sort of a bowl.
Yes, like from
And
Chipotle bowl.
Yes, and I feel so full. Like I choose less calories sauces and salad dressing. Usually it's Waldo Farms. Instead of oil, I don't put oil into my salad, just because I can really, you can really taste it. Like let's admit it, you can taste the oil, like, and it doesn't really make a difference. So what I do is I just use those sprays, cooking sprays, 0 calories. So they have like avocado, olive oil. So I just spray that spray on top of my salad. I use a bunch of salt, because we need salt, it's a mineral, and different spices. Like if you play around with spices, your meal all of a sudden becomes like, oh my God, it's so delicious. So I do that. I cook my home burgers, because I use just like, let's say, either it's reduced fat cheese, or it could be like fat-free cheese. I know what I'm putting in my burger as well, so that's why I prefer that thing. Sometimes sometimes I make my own protein ice cream, which is delicious, which is literally just almond milk and protein. But and some cocoa powder, like organic cocoa powder, and it tastes amazing. So I provide myself with everything that my body will ever probably need in terms of vitamins. Fruits, of course, I have fruits. I love fruits, and I suggest Everyone has, because nobody actually, like, show me one person who got fat from eating fruits. And no. So I know that, let's say, and I'm staying very disciplined with myself, because especially as, like, woman, before like a cycle, we tend to crave certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And if I allow myself to go all in into, like, and order something, first of all, I'm devastating by what kind of food is out there. Like, I don't know. I worked in the restaurant area, like atmosphere, and I know how they cook everything. So no, I want to feed my body with, like, food that I know that I bought it today, not like 10 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's not defrosted 100 couple times. So, and I'm disciplined with myself. If I want a chocolate, I can make my own chocolate, which is very easy. It's very easy. It's literally like nothing. It's 10 minutes and it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can buy some options that I know, like, let's say, like, they're sugar-free, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they may be low on fat and stuff like that. So I can enjoy that. But I know also that it's not going to be an entire bar or certain things like that. Because once you kind of, like, get yourself go, like, okay,
Yes.
it just becomes, it's how our mind works. You give something that you're not, quote unquote, allowed maybe to,
Mm-hmm.
and you can go crazy. And for some people it may not work, for some people it works. Depends on you, on the personal preferences and the way your probably brain setups. Because, like, I have clients who are okay with, like, eating small pieces of chocolate every day, and they eat one, and I know. And some clients, they like, yeah, I'm gonna be okay with one piece, and then they're like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so that strategy is not working for you yet.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely easier to all or nothing.
Yeah.
So I just have certain type of food, which I just don't even consider. It's like stone for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you know that why would you want to sabotage yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you're making a better choice. You're just making yourself like, miserable, because, like, next couple days you're gonna have to, like, oh no, I'm coming
Mm-hmm.
back to my, like, why would you do that? So yeah, you have to be, first of all, honest with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
is this strategy will work? Can I really have a small piece and have another one tomorrow? Because let's face it, you can lose weight even by eating candies and chocolate.
If
Maybe
you stay
supplement.
within your calories.
Yes, absolutely. If you supplement with maybe a couple of, like, protein powder shakes, that's it. You covered with protein. You have your candies. But let's also face another thing. Will you be satisfied? Like, where is the fine line, which you will be hungry, let's face it.
Mm-hmm.
You eat the
Mm-hmm.
chocolate, 10 minutes after you want to eat more.
Yes.
Whereas you eat a bowl of salad, even if it has, avocado, maybe what kind of cheese it is, Greek cheese.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call it?
I'm not sure. I usually have like Parmesan just to
Feta,
solve it. Feta.
feta.
Okay.
Yes,
Oh,
feta
yes.
cheese. So you can enjoy that and being full, and you're like, oh my God, like, I'm so full. But usually people just, like, they go what is easier and faster, and they think that it's going to help them, but it's constantly setting them up to, like, the vicious
Mm-hmm.
circle of,
Yeah.
gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, going on a rigid diet. So it's a lot of work maybe at the beginning, but also if you have a coach who understands it, and who can support you with advice, and just, not judging, but just like, hey, it's okay,
Mm-hmm.
we'll figure out. So this is how I, like, coach myself pretty much. So if I sometime go nuts, I'm like, look, it's totally fine. I just know that tomorrow we'll come back to the normal, style of eating, I would put it this
Mm-hmm.
way. And I said, no judgment, because your brain will think, because we're thinking that the power of thought is crazy, right? Like, people can treat cancers by just thinking that
Mm-hmm.
something is eating the cancer cells. Now imagine if you're constantly guilty about what you ate. Like, oh my God, even if I look at that cake, I'm already like getting fatter, you know. Your thought will drive your kind of physical body and will make it to store fat instead of burning and using the energy. So if you decided to go and like eat that cake, just go and enjoy and say, this will gonna go to the gym, to my, you know, glutes,
Yeah.
my shoulders, to my body, to my brain. It will eat it all. That's it.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
don't feel that guilt and like it will eat you out. So
That's such a valuable advice. And what do you think about supplements? Do you take lots of them? I remember we once had a conversation because I think after my course, I've realized how, about my nutrition course, I've realized how many vitamins there is on the shelves of the stores and how it's all consumerism, overconsumption, and they just sell that. But then like our liver has to deal with all of this. And there is, if we eat properly, mostly we get all the nutrients from the food. If we have balance, very right meal plan, but we don't need much. But is there anything which is mandatory? For example, like fish oil, there is some type of omega which is not produced by our body, and so we're supposed to get it from supplements or from fish.
So I would say about supplements, I would say everybody, like I'm taking supplements. If you open up my counter, you will be like, wow.
Me too, still. I love supplements.
First of all, because let's face it, the quality of food that we have right now is not the same as we used to have. Like when I was in Belarus, I knew that this is growing from like the bush, like this raspberries, they full of vitamins and energy and sun. And my grandma wasn't spraying something bad on top, so it will grow faster. The same goes to meat. So right now, if you're taking the apple, it can stay for months, even if you bite it, right? Nothing gonna happen. It's just gonna be there as a like monument. So you can just only imagine that the food right now, and it's also like, you know, it's the way we look at it. Yes, we can blame the companies, but on the other hand, how many people are right now in our planet Earth? So only here in America, you need to feed so many people. So of course, they need to figure out ways how to grow stuff faster. And unfortunately, they have to sacrifice something. So it could be, you know, supplements, vitamins, minerals. So yes, of course, we're missing on all of that. So that's why I think like just a based kind of like supplementation based, it's absolutely beneficial. Like I would say, vitamin D3. That's something that it's really, really hard to kind of take the dosage that will be harmful for you. So I had deficiency once.
Most of the people have deficiency in vitamin D.
And I was taking 50,000 IUs. So it's like one time a week. You can break it down, of course. So, and now with the coronavirus and stuff like that, D3 is a pro-hormone, which is like, we need to take it. And even if someone is like, well, I live in like sunny state, well, it doesn't matter, because if you're covered in the clothes and you put a lot of lotion on top of yourself, you won't produce that amount of vitamin D3. It has to be like pure skin. But now we also know the UV filters that we like. So you say it's like a double-edged sword. We're like, oh, I don't know, should I do this or should I not? So I have vitamin D3 all the time. Usually it's also adaptogens. So it's a new thing, like ashwagandha. So that stuff I like.
Indian herb, I think.
Yes. There are different types of adaptogens, and they act in your body as like anti-stress anti-stressful.
Inflammatory, I think.
Yes. So they detect, like, we have stressful factors like every day, right? We may not register it as, like, oh my God, that's something happened to me, but it just accumulating over time. So the adaptogens will just see that area and like upregulate the hormones and your response to it. So adaptogens are great. Right now with coronavirus, and I unfortunately had that.
Recently, yeah.
Yes, recently.
It's survival, COVID survival.
Yeah. So I'm taking selenium, zinc, but as you said, yes, most of vitamins, and I'm checking my blood test, like blood work every year twice, because of course, and we're competing, we need to kind of be aware of whether or not something was like disrupted. So I never had a problem with this, but I also always like taking multivitamins, let's say winter time, right? Because everything is like, it's not a season. It's not season for fruits, or it's growing artificially for sure. So, and it takes time for them to export it from, different countries. So I would say multivitamins won't kill anyone. And if your body doesn't need something, it will get rid of it. So it's really like, I've read so many studies about that stuff, that it's really hard to overdose on vitamins. Like, you literally then have to go crazy and just eat the whole thing. If it's just a normal minimal size, so instead of like, oh, now I have deficiency and I have to like, get it back, instead of doing that, you can prevent it. So, and another supplement, I would say it's I wouldn't call it supplement, but it's like a food, but people probably will call it supplement, as a protein powders, protein shakes, because it's pure protein. It's even better than any like chicken grown with the hormone stuff. So that's what I have all the time with me. Like, if something, I'm gonna make sure that I eat, like, I'd rather drink my protein than order something that I don't know, because you never know, what's gonna be around, and especially right now. So what else? Supplements. Omega-3, yes, absolutely. Omega-3, and I'm taking omega-3 only. I'm not taking like blend 6 and 9, because we can
produce it.
Yeah, we can produce it. We can get it from somewhere else. L-tyrosine. I was taking that. So pretty much, sometimes I'm cycling with certain amino acids that like produces responsible for production of like happy hormones, for example, right? L-tryptophan. That's a lot of it is in turkey, in dark meat. So L-tryptophan is responsible for production of the happy hormones and us feeling, yay, exciting. So I've read a couple researches and I'm like, okay, that's good. I'm taking that. But of course, before taking anything, I would say, especially if you're not really advanced in like supplementations, you either just ask your doctor, but that's another side of the coin, because doctors, they really don't really know anything about that.
Not too many doctors know.
Yes.
They know how to cure existing problems, but they don't know much about prevention, unfortunately.
No. They don't know much about nutrition as well, because like general physicians, they only had like one, maybe 3 lessons, like, for nutrition. So unfortunately, yes. But, or, just try to find a kind of like legit source. We have that. If you see that a person's kind of like Instagram or, coach, ask him, or see what, because I know there are so many different accounts that actually just post about supplementations, and they post research on top. They back it up. So and on Instagram, we don't have like, entire article. So you just can read like, bullet points and like, okay, so maybe I need that. But I certainly think like multivitamins, that would like 4 weeks, let's say in the winter time, would be perfect. So, and then of course, when it's summertime, you just try to eat a little bit more, fruits and fresh salads and stuff like that, and yes, you will be covered with all vitamins and minerals that you need.
Do you consume any alcohol?
No, at all. That's funny. I used to be a bartender, and I actually used to drink, like, not every day, but whatever, like I'm going out.
Yeah.
And when I start my prep for Arnold Classic, of course I stopped drinking, because yes, you can do that, but then alcohol is the source of energy, and when alcohol is in your body will use that first, so all the fat burning processes will stop, because it's not only a source of energy that has 7 calories, which is like none of our nutrients. Like, we have carbohydrates and protein that's 4 calories per gram, and fats that are 9, alcohol is 7, and it's toxic. So our body is like, oh my God, what did you do? What is that? So it will try to use that first. So that's why, and the amount of time that it will take to get rid of the alcohol, of course, based on the amount you consume, it could be up to like several days. So now if your goal is to lose weight and you're consuming alcohol, and then you just literally just prolonging your diet even more.
Yes,
Yes,
it's a few steps back.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can, count for calories. Does it worth it? I don't know. Maybe for men, maybe if you like, doing some sort of a cognitive tasks, mental stuff and stuff like that, it's your choice, I would say. But I decided not to, because I'd rather eat something, and enjoy more food than I drink alcohol. And eventually I just, I don't know, my body just doesn't want it. Like, on my birthday, we bought like a good bottle of wine. What's funny, you start to appreciate a little bit more different types of like, kind of like, good wine instead of like super cheap one.
Yeah.
And I just had a sip or two, and my body's like,
I don't like it anymore.
Got it. Yeah. So no, not even a glass of wine. It's and I'm super fun with that, because we can have fun without alcohol in our system, and it's totally fine to have that. But I think also in moderation, like serving size. We have blue zones in our planet that they drink alcohol. The blue zones is basically it's the zone where people live more than 100 years. So totally we have something to learn from them, right? And what data shows that they all drink alcohol, but it's like a glass of wine, for example. For a woman, 2 or 3 glasses for like a man. But then let's look at the quality. They like making it probably, I don't know, I cannot tell for sure if that's the case, but they not over drinking it, because if we look at our like mom right now, like, or a girl who's like enjoying a glass of wine, it's usually a bottle, at night. And then it's just sad sometimes that, if we want to have fun, we need to drink, which I don't think it's a good idea. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea.
Everything is okay in moderation. You said that it gives energy. It's interesting because there is 2 energies in alcohol from the terms of yogi diet. I talked about this in my previous podcast, and there is 3 natures, 3 energies within us and outside us. And there is sattva, rajas, and tamas. And when you consume alcohol, it brings you up. It gives you this energy to go and have fun and meet people. And then there is a price to pay. So it brings you to this rajas, and then it brings you towards tamas, which is withdrawal syndrome, when you have this headache and hard recovery. So this doesn't make sense. The trade is not fair, because you'll probably have to pay much more.
And usually when people drink heavily, that's because they're trying to avoid the real life. It's same with any drug, same with any like eating addiction, when you drink alcohol, you all of a sudden become a superhero, right? You like you're more open, you can talk, you can make more like the jokes, but it's just because you're trying to avoid yourself. You're trying to avoid the real life problems, and you're just trying to escape. So that's when you can over consuming, alcohol. I have no problem with just like, I have friends and they have like very stressful works, and it's a business. So, and I'm okay. I can't, well, who is the judge, right? I cannot judge anyone, but if it's like a glass of wine and that's the way and you're not trying to avoid anything. It's like, no, I know this is the way I'm relaxing. This is the way I am putting my brain away. It's nothing gonna, it's not gonna do anything to you. But when it becomes addiction and when it starts controlling you, that's where it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
When you can control alcohol or any sort of like, outside enjoyment, that's fine. When it started controlling you, that's the problem.
Yeah, same with smoking, with coffee, with everything.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's right. And also, tell me about your favorite type of workout, and what is your favorite workout to maintain that muscles, but build a lean muscle mass? Like, and also tell me about the breaths during the muscles, because during workout, because I know you specialized in breathing techniques while working out, which is so important. Nobody talks about this, but this is
absolutely.
the key.
Absolutely. I mean, I think nobody talks about breathing because I had that's funny. I had like a couple classes, like breathing classes, and when we were trying, like we posted it a week before, which is like quite enough time because people already know me. And I asked the gym owner, he goes like, we don't have enough people just because it's not really sexy. I'm like, yeah, sure, it's not sexy. It's not something like, hey, this is going to be workout that will like burn all of your fat all of a sudden and you will walk out like a completely different person. But if you think about it, like if we are like consuming something around 50 pounds of air, 50,000 probably pounds. Okay, I don't remember the number, but we're breathing a lot, like a lot. And it's not a pound. I think it's a ton. Yeah. Okay. So yes, it's a lot. So it will affect us, like regardless, because it's something that we do. It's automatic, but doesn't mean that it's good. So we can basically mess it up, like if we don't pay attention, or external factors like stress, because there is such thing as actually email apnea. So, and it's a scientific term. Email apnea, like we know what apnea means, right? When you like stop breathing, when you hold your breath. So email apnea is when people are like, doing work and something like email, they open up like very kind of like email that bothers them, and they really like not really happy what's in email, they tend to hold their breath. When you hold your breath consciously, it's amazing. When you hold your breath unconsciously, everything goes bad. So, and this is the terms email apnea, right? So here we go. So now imagine, and it's a stress response. Why? Because that's a response from your body. Because, for example, you're sitting at home and all of a sudden you see a tiger in your living room. What are you going to do? You're going to stop breathing. Because if he hears your breathing or you hiding, you're going to just hold your breath. So that's your survival kind of mechanism. So, but we're not paying attention to our breath. And now when we stress, we tend to hold our breath, and that's not good at all. That's where, your brain, first of all, is not receiving enough oxygen, and your brain will just suffocate without that stuff. We have carbon dioxide receptors. And if they're very sensitive, you will start to develop all certain different like problems, from not digesting food to fatiguing super fast to different types of injuries, because your muscles, when you're working out, our muscles need oxygen, right? So if we kind of like not giving it enough, that's where you become sore, you fatigue, you tend to like pull your muscles, something happens. So I would say with with breathing. First of all, it helped me because I had like 4 surgeries on my, on my nose, and I was like devastating. I'm like, okay, come on, like how many more do I have to have? Because I couldn't breathe. Everything was like clogged in. Because when I was young, I was playing a sport, and very like vigorous sport, and they never taught us how to breathe. And I was a mouth breather. How am I right now, by the way? So, and nose is the use it or lose it organ. Basically, if we're not using our nose properly, it will start to like, closing up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to me. That's why I have like 4 surgeries, nothing helped. And then I'm like, okay, let me just try to like figure out, because our mind is so powerful and we can heal ourselves. Why not just to try with this? So I found this, the book, I think it Lost Art of, or Breathe. Yes, Breathe. And I'm like, okay, let me try. Cause in the end of the book, he gives a lot of techniques, and I'm like, let me try. I found one that it's like that can just the nose, when you're just holding your breath and you basically just do this. So you inhale, exhale, and on the exhalation, you're holding your breath. And I was doing it like every morning for a month, and my nose just opened up.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay.
That's the power of will.
Yeah, this is what I do right now. We warm up like this with my clients, so they can open up their nostrils. Sometimes we do pranayama, like alternative breathing techniques for breathing. Sometimes we do breath holding techniques. So we need to increase our tolerance to CO2, to building up, so we can actually improve our performance. So, and you always want to hold your breath on the exhale if you want to do that, because this is where you exhaling all the CO2, all the oxygen, and you have CO2 like building up in your muscles, of course. So while working out, for example, we've been taught what to do. Like when you push, you exhale, right? Then you inhale, you exhale. But if we are doing some sort of like, let's say, a shoulder press, you don't need that amount of oxygen. Like you're doing nothing. Like you're moving your hands. So what I've discovered for myself, and I also share it with my clients, is that if we just inhale on 2 reps and exhale on 2 instead of 1 by 1, like I've noticed that, first of all, to me, I'm fatiguing way less. Wow. Like I'm not even tired. Like I can go. Like I thought that, let's say that's my maximum, like 12 reps with like 30 pounds dumbbells, for example. I was like, oh my God, it's 45 and I'm on 10. It's so cool. Yeah, it's so cool. With the lower body, it's a little bit different. With lower body, I usually do a breath holding techniques if it's already like some maximal weight for me. So I usually hold my breath while I'm squatting, for example, or deadlifting. But if it's something very, moderate exercise, I just do the same techniques. I try to prolong my inhalation, and I count up until 4 or 5. And then I exhale and I do exactly the same. I count until 4 or 5. This is what, will, first of all, decrease the amount of oxygen we're consuming, because we usually, what we do, we inhale a lot, and we inhale a lot and we exhale fast. So when we consuming a lot of oxygen, there is the cells, which is, antioxidant, right? So those cells are actually the opposite, the oxidant. So they actually will eat on good cells, because the oxygen creates this process a lot. So we need to proper inhale and exhale so we can balance it up, And also during exercises, our muscles are already producing a lot of lactic acid, and it's like a building up CO2 basically. And that's why you feel like, oh my God, it's burning. But when you like slow down your breathing, it will allow you to work more. And of course, if you can prolong your workout, or maybe you can lift a little bit heavier or more efficiently, right? Like full range of motion, great technique, not cheating. Of course, it will bring you greater results than when you're just keeping on breath. So I would say my favorite workout, well, it depends. Like I like full body workouts, but I do split because I'm competing. So as you know, like sometimes you need to adjust certain things. So I do my lower body, my legs and my glutes like 3 times. And that's where I'm really enjoying. I don't really enjoying doing my back in a way, just because I already have a developed back. So, but I know that I need to maintain it. So I do like a back workout, maybe 1 or twice, and shoulders. That's also my favorite. I like to kind of rotate with high intensity sometimes, but not the high intensity where I want to die after, where I have proper rest in between and I push all in. So, because we exhaling fat, right?
Explain more about that.
Yes. So we exhaling fat because one of the molecules of fat is carbon, and we're exhaling carbon dioxide. Yes. So we're not, well, most of it we're exhaling. We're not pooping it. We're not like sweating it. Some amount, you know, like it's going to be a water weight that we're like sweating out. So if you skipping on exhalation, you typically just not exhaling a lot of fat, right? Because where it's going to go. So heat workout, it's not a bad workout, but it should be workout where coaches teach you how to breathe properly. And nobody does it. Like everybody's just skipping on that part. And then I see clients and people just suffocating during workouts, and they just ready to die because the amount of lactic acid and how much they fatigued already, it's just crazy. And then you spending that a lot of energy, it's energy during the short period of time, and of course your body will be like, now we have to eat, because you just lost a lot of energy and I'm not sure what you're going to do tomorrow. So the hunger is the, you know, one tool of our brain that will make us to survive. So heat is not really like, I don't do heat as like right now people are like, you know, used to just jump, lay down, like crawl, whatever. No, I do proper technique, like with the all in, but I also have a rest where I can rest, where I can you know, reverse my oxygen debt and exhale properly, and then I go all in. So
this is so important, and that's why I really love Hatha yoga, because first 3 class for beginners, it's just, there is only few asanas we do, like literally 3 asanas in an entire hour and a half, but most of the first 3 classes, it's just a learning of proper breathing.
Wow.
And
yes. I've done it once, and I was like, wow, that's probably because I've done hot yoga as well. No, that's not for me. And I was like, oh my God, like,
me too, I can't.
Can I run right now? It was like maybe 10 minutes into the session, and I was like, can I leave? Like, I don't want to do this anymore because my body is suffering, and you cannot drink water because that's the point of hot yoga. And I'm like, no.
Everybody's body is different, and
absolutely
different exercises fit different people. And we have also different natures. Like in Ayurveda, there is Kapha, Pitta, Vata, and each of us needs different exercise. For Kapha, heavy lifting will not work. They need lots of yoga and lots of rest. For Pitta, they need really heavy, high intense training. And everybody finds
in general, physical activity is good, whether it's yoga, because in yoga you holding a lot of statics, like if you're standing and keeping the asana, right, your entire body is working, your stabilizers muscles, your core muscles, your back muscles, your glute muscles, everything is working. If you think about it that way, you also have to breathe properly, and that builds up a lot of endurance. So I also, like, I agree with you completely. You don't have to lift, or you don't have to lift the way you think the lifting is, you know, like you literally can just come into the gym and just have fun. Like you don't have to do certain things, just move your body. That's all.
That's all right. Yeah, just walk is better than nothing.
Exactly. If you don't have like a chance to work out, or let's say, well, everybody has home, right? So let's face it, like
Mm-hmm.
you can do 10 squats and 10 push-ups every day, right? That's already workout. Who, why not? But
Yeah.
everybody has a chance to walk. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, like, what is the like better thing if you when you walk somewhere in the park, you enjoy the nature, the quiet, environment, the colors, maybe the cold, maybe not, I don't know. But you just like you're disengaging from the world, and you're giving yourself this ability to just breathe, and walk. And of course, it creates a good environment for your cardiovascular system, for your heart,
Mm-hmm.
for everything. You're breathing fresh air. So what can be?
Yes, and we keep it moving, because if we stop using our body, it starts to break. It starts to
Yeah.
lose flexibility. We start to have joint problems because joints think that we don't need them anymore. That's
Oh
why
yeah,
it's
absolutely,
super important to
absolutely.
keep
That's
moving.
where most injuries happen, because you just stop using your
Body.
joints, your body. You stop using your ankles, you stop using your knees, and then all of a sudden you decided to squat. Ha ha ha. Well, no, excuse me. Like, we were like unmovable for so many like, days, and now you decided to squat all of a sudden. So no, at least something, at least some mobility exercises, like something that you move your joints, move your neck, like you're sitting, like stand up, move your spine in different directions.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Eyes
it.
also, eye exercises.
Oh
Just
my
look
God.
up
Yes.
and like circles, because why we're losing our vision? Because we just don't use those muscles.
Absolutely. And imagine, like, we're staring at the phones now. It's very narrow point. We don't use our peripheral vision at all. And our body is our main organ for prediction. Like, our brain detects what is around you because you can see it, right? And now imagine your vision becomes like blurry, for example, or worse. Your brain will go, I don't know if it's actually safe for you to go out there, because I can really see right now. I can predict what's going to happen because you cannot see with your left eye, for example. So that's, everything is connected. Our body is like amazing machine, like, and the brain, that we have to take care of everything. Not only, like, nutrition comes first, of course, then physical activity, movement. Then, of course, you have to take care of your rest, proper rest. Like, please don't just beat yourself up with work. Work will never end.
Yeah.
Like, it will never end. And this is the beauty of it, because you can just explore, but also have fun, like, enjoy your life. And once every system is on check, here you go, you're healthy.
Yes. And don't forget about mindset and positive
Absolutely.
attitude.
That's what I said.
All
Like,
together.
yes. Mindset is absolutely.
Yes. That's amazing. Thank you so much for all this information and sharing your experience and your story.
Thank you for inviting me. I was like, and this is episode 5, my favorite number. So like, cool.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
The last question is, how can we find you? Do you have a website, Instagram page? What's the best way for our listeners to reach you out?
Yes, absolutely. So my Instagram handle is Julia Dars Coach. Julia, I'm sorry, underscores Dars underscores Coach underscores. And then my website is buildbydars.com. And I just basically launched my membership area, where I'm posting a lot of like stuff like that. I'm posting videos about fitness, like how to choose your workouts, how to choose your exercises. I have all exercises techniques videos when I'm explaining like super easy how to do like the exercise properly. I have videos for nutrition where I'm basically, when I'm reading my researches and studies, I'm putting it in a very simple way where people are like, oh, okay. So where I'm debunking many myths, because I'm really I feel like it's my it's the purpose of like my studying, to just share it. And it's like, hey, don't spend time on this, or don't waste your money on that, because this is and mindset. Yes, I'm also have like a separate membership with a mindset, where I just talk about meditation, what meditation is and what meditation is not. How to meditate, like okay, so what do you do if you really don't have a space where to meditate? Like what is that? Like, so Yes, and I'm excited about that. So I just launched it. So yeah, that's basically where my place where I'm in right now. And I'm doing every week is like live stream with my subscribers, and we just have like discussions. That's very interesting.
That's very exciting. I'm so happy for you, and
Thank
you
you.
keep crushing it. You're doing an amazing job, and you help so many
You
people.
too, sweetie. Because like I'm so proud of you too. You remember I sent you the text message on Instagram when I just like saw your podcast, and I
Yeah.
first one I was like, wow, she's amazing.
Thank you. It was so nice to see it. Yeah, it really keeps me motivated because, especially for my podcast in English language, it's much more harder than in my native language. And it's really hard to stay motivated. But when I hear all these feedbacks, it really brings me up, and I want to keep doing what I do.
Thank you, Oliska.
Thank you so much.